Okay, folks, now in a recent episode of House of Payne, it was confirmed with a line from Calvin Payne that All the Queen's Men is a television show. So I figured that this would be a fun video to do where, in the day and age we live in, where comic book movies reign supreme, what's the big thing or the theme that most of, if not all these movies are focusing on right now? The multiverse, whether it be the Marvel movies, because they're literally in the midst of the multiverse saga. The DC movies, we just had the recent fail at the box office, the Flash movie, Flashpoint. And that was dealing with, different timelines, multiverse stuff and whatnot. So I figured, why not make a video where I do my best based off of clues and whatnot that we have from, various Tyler Perry shows and to some extent the movies and plays, where I kind of construct the Tyler Perry universe, if you will, or in this case, universes, because, in some shows that we watch, they bring up other Tyler Perry projects that aren't in the same universe, but they're shows in another. For example, if you're a DC comic fan, you know that Jay Garrick was the original Flash, but in the world of Barry Allen, and by extension Wally West and whatnot, Jay Garrick's adventures were nothing more than a comic book until they eventually crossed universes. And look, I know it's all confusing and whatnot, but as a nerd myself, I get the comic book references. In my opinion, I'm not saying that Tyler Perry and everybody else at the studios thought, hey, let's make this like the MCU and whatnot. Or no, I feel like when they made the shows, it wasn't meant to have everything connected as one. It's pretty much, hey, we're going to just throw in this one line of dialogue or have this actor from one show or movie come into another show as a fun wink and a nod to the audience. And, not everybody's going to overthink it like me. So just keep that in mind. Also, when it comes to the plays and movies, good Lord, I feel like this video is a precursor or something bigger. Maybe someday I'll do a humongous video where I truly break down how everything is either connected or, nods to other Tyler Perry projects in a movie or whatever. But for now, I'm going to keep it really simple and focus more so on the television shows. If this video does pretty well, maybe I'll do that bigger video sooner than expected, but who knows? Let's just focus on one thing at a time. But for now, please take a moment, hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video, and hit subscribe because, well, I want this new channel to hit 10,000 subscribers much sooner than later. So, where do we start first? I think that when it comes to the realm of Tyler Perry shows, it's best to focus on the original, which is House of Payne, which I do know had a WB version before Tyler left to go to TBS. So I will say that the original House of Payne series takes place on its own earth. It's kind of its own thing because it got rebooted when it went to TBS. Because if I remember correctly, there was no Calvin. CJ was originally the son of Ella and Curtis, unlike the well-known version where he's their nephew. So again, the first series, I'll keep that on its own separate earth. Now, Earth 2, if you will, because the original House of Payne, I'll call that Earth 1. Earth 2, this is where we get a lot of shows put together. So you have the TBS version of House of Payne. And goodness gracious, there's a lot of things to cover here. So Mr. Brown and Medea both appear in this series. So we can, pretty much put together that, all right, on this particular Earth, the House of Payne series takes place in the same continuity as the Meet the Browns series. And by extension of that, I think you can also place the Meet the Browns film in that continuity, because I believe Will is in both the film and the series. All right. So you have the movie and the show. And by extension of that, we know that the recent series Assisted Living, now, I don't think it's ever been fully confirmed if Assisted Living is the spiritual successor of the Meet the Browns series, but Cora did mention how she used to work in the school system, which she did in the Meet the Browns series, and Medea has been mentioned. So, like I said, even though we really haven't had mention of the boarding house that Brown had in the Meet the Browns series, hence why, the whole assisted living facility is kind of right up his alley, I'm going to assume that assisted living takes place in the same world as House of Payne, Meet the Browns the film. And also jumping back to House of Payne, I feel like technically you could argue that the Payne series that came on OWN is something that takes place on the same Earth, but I think that it should be in its separate universe, aka Earth 3, because in House of Payne season 9 or 10, I forget which one it was, basically one of the reboot series when it came on BET, Curtis mentioned to Ella that he had a bad dream about them moving to Florida and whatnot, meaning that the Payne series technically never took place. It was nothing more than a dream that Curtis had. So Earth 2 Curtis had a dream about a series where he and Ella went to Florida, and like I said, you could debatably say that's a Earth 3 series or just like a throwaway series, but regardless, in our world, the series did happen because I had to sit through every damn episode and review it. So yeah, I think that we could say that the Paynes as a series takes place in its own world. So just say that's Earth 3. Now, going back to Earth 2, we can also throw another series into the mix along with the other 3 shows. Love Thy Neighbor, because Curtis and Ella appeared in that series and Medea did as well. So yeah, Love Thy Neighbor, Assisted Living, Meet the Browns, and House of Payne all take place in the same universe. Adjacent to that being the Paynes, because it was a dream of Curtis's, and of course the Meet the Browns film. Now, like I said, it's very difficult for me to put the plays anywhere because I feel like the continuity between the plays doesn't even make sense. I mean, the number of offspring that Medea has had, the number of husbands she's had, Cora and her kids. I mean, remember she had like 2 older daughters in the Medea family, the Medea family reunion. So the plays, I feel like, I'll make mention of them here and there, but keep in mind, Meet the Browns the play, Meet the Browns the movie, and Meet the Brown the show are 3 completely different things. But the biggest thing that you could take away from that is that I think it's safe to assume that the Meet the Browns film falls into continuity with Meet the Browns the series. So, moving on to a different Earth, because like I said, All the Queen's Men on Earth 2 is nothing more than a television show. Let's talk about Earth 3. Now, or actually, technically Earth 4 if you don't count the Paynes as its own separate Earth, but we've already had that discussion. Now, let's keep it in order here. We're going to go to For Better or Worse, which is a show I've only seen like 3 episodes of, so I cannot tell you for certain if there were any mentions of Medea, Mr. Brown, Cora, or the House of Payne characters. So I'm going to assume that For Better or Worse takes place on its own Earth, and it is connected to the Why Did I Get Married movies, because if I remember correctly, the 2 main characters of Why Did I Get Married, the 2 main characters are For Better or Worse, Michael and Tasha, were a married couple in the Why Did I Get Married movies, and then they got their own spinoff. So, like I said, I'm going to put these 3 projects, 2 movies in the show, on its own Earth. Like I said, you can call it Earth 4 or 5, but 3 or 4. I'm going to call it Earth 4. All right, now we get to the OWN network. Where we get to Earth 5. I'm going to put Too Close to Home in its own category. To my knowledge, I don't recall there being any mention of any other Tyler Perry project, so Earth 5 is Too Close to Home. Earth 6 and 7. This is a tough one because the characters kind of make appearances. All right, so Earth 6 is the Haves and Have-Nots universe. I know this show extremely well, and I am very confident when I say that there's no way there was any mention of Medea or Brown or any other Tyler Perry project. So I feel like it's safe to say the haves and the have-nots takes place on its own Earth. However, in the Medea farewell play, Medea herself makes mention of Veronica Harrington, meaning that technically speaking, Veronica Harrington links the Haves and Have-Nots series to the Medea farewell tour. Keep in mind, I said the Medea farewell tour play and not the Medea play continuity, because Lord knows the plays are insane. I feel like to some extent, almost every play takes place in its own universe, save for maybe one or two that are actually connected. But yeah, I'll just put the Haves and the Have-Nots and the Medea farewell tour play on the same Earth. You know, I'll leave it at that. Let's say Earth 7 is If Loving You Is Wrong, and similar to the Haves and the Have-Nots, it was easy to put this project, this series, in its own universe. But then we had good old Eddie appear in the Medea family funeral movie, which kind of makes it so that these two projects are in the same universe. But you could also argue, well, Jeremy, think of it this way. Maybe the Veronica Harrington that was mentioned in the Medea farewell play isn't the same Veronica Harrington as the Earth 6 Veronica Harrington from the Haves and the Have-Nots. And just like the Edward from the Medea family funeral movie, that doesn't have to be the same Eddie from If Loving You Is Wrong. That is very true. Very true. Moving on to, I believe, the next to last Earth. Earth 8. This is a big one. All right. So we have Sisters, Bruh being the original spin-off series because Andrea Barnes and Bellamy both appeared in the series, as well as Mike being mentioned on Sisters. These two shows take place in the same universe. Now, when Zatima first came out, nope, they're different universes. No, you can't separate the two. They're in the same universe. So, they're in the same universe. All the Queen's Men is also in the same universe because Madam has shown up. I know the biggest thing, well, two big things. Well, what about Sky? He played Jacoby in Sisters, and how is he playing, what's his name in the show? Is it Amp, right? Amp? Well, he plays Amp. Guys, this is common in a lot of shows and whatnot where actors portray multiple roles. Keep in mind, Madam was in the same room with Andy, Fatima, and Angela, portrayed by the same actress that portrayed a character in the All the Queen's Men series, yet Madam made no mention of, hey, you look like this one woman that shows up to the club. No, it just so happens that the same actor portrays multiple characters. So, with that being said, Sisters, Bruh, Zatima, and All the Queen's Men take place in the same universe. Now, where does that leave the Oval and Ruthless? Well, in Zatima Season 2, Belinda is revealed to be a, online content creator, reviewer. She has a blog and whatnot. And it turns out she reviews some BET Plus shows. And she mentions Ruthless. Case in point, Ruthless in the Earth 8 universe is a television show. And considering that Ruthless and the Oval are one and the same in terms of continuity, that means they are on their own separate Earth. We're going to call that Earth 9. So the Oval and Ruthless, simply put, I don't really need to explain. They're in their own universe, and that's that. So just a quick recap of everything we went over just now. So on Earth 1, we'll say that's the original House of Payne series, the one that was on the WB network. Earth 2 consists of the TBS version of House of Payne. And by extension, the Payne series itself, put that on Earth 3. But jumping back to Earth 2, you got Meet the Browns, Assisted Living, Love Thy Neighbor. They're on the same Earth. Oh yeah, as well as the Meet the Brown movie. So Earth 3, like I just said, you could debatably say that's the Paynes. You could easily just say that's the Dream World. Earth 4 is For Better or Worse, which also includes Why Did I Get Married 1 and 2, and the third movie that a couple of years ago Tyler Perry teased us with, but we never really got any follow-up on that. Earth 5 is Too Close to Home. Earth 6 is The Haves and the Have-Nots, and by extension, the Madea Farewell Tour play. Earth 7 is If Loving You Is Wrong, as well as debatably the Madea family funeral movie due to the appearance of Eddie. Earth 8 includes Sisters, All the Queen's Men, Bruh, and Zatima. Earth 9 includes the Oval series and Ruthless. So that's my Tyler Perry multiverse so far. Like I said, every play, every movie, good lord, that would probably be like 33 plus different Earths. But like I said, if this video does well, then in the future I will definitely do a more in-depth one, because there is a lot of Tyler Perry lore to go over. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Tyler Perry multiverse. And like I said, if I did a good job and anybody from Tyler Perry Studios is watching, this is why you should hire me, or at least pay me to make some sort of timeline, because I'm good at what I do. But like I said, I probably missed a few things, and that's where you come in. Let me know in the comments if there were any lines of dialogue, actors who portrayed their characters from one show and they appeared in another that I might have missed. Hey, I'm not perfect. I don't remember every single thing, but I remember a lot. So, as I requested before, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.